We have a massive Patriots update as the Patriots make a shocking move just after they had finalized the 53-man roster and releasing Jabrill Peppers. And in that Jabrill Peppers spot, they get none other than former Bengals defensive tackle Eric Gregory. And we are going to discuss all of it here on Patriots Digest here with your host Keenan Warner. And guys, this is a new channel. We are bringing this back and we are ready to grow this thing. If you guys haven't yet, hit that subscribe button down there so you don't miss all the great content that me and Jace have coming for you. Every single day we're coming with new Patriots content, and the season is just days away and we couldn't be more excited for it. But right now, after just some incredibly shocking news from Adam Schefter, Patriots are releasing veteran safety Jabrill Peppers per source. Peppers has still $4.32 million guaranteed remaining on his contract for this season. Peppers has started 85 games, including 26 with New England, total over 500 tackles, 7 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles, and 7 fumble recoveries in the NFL. Jabrill Peppers is not just one of those guys that's kind of just run-of-the-mill. He was a true name and a true guy who had impact on multiple rosters going forward throughout his career. And this is last year. This is PFF's grades. He graded as the 7th best safety. Granted, he didn't play as many games as expected, but he graded out as the 7th best safety last year in the regular season via PFF, or Pro Football Focus. And also in coverage, he was 8th best. He was 81.7 in coverage last year. So we know that he had that whole charge over him back in October of 24 that had him miss time. His hamstring was also an issue, and we're going to discuss all of that here. Only played 372 snaps last year. That might be a part of it and part of the reason why he is gone, but there's just so much more to this, and the more reading and more here that you get, the more interesting this gets. And I'm not sure if everyone even still has the final story as to why Jabrill Peppers is not on this roster, but it was confirmed Friday afternoon, obviously, as we have talked about. Surprising multiple levels, because first, Peppers, starting safety past 2 seasons, released 3 days after the 53-man roster and cut down deadline. Third, because the Patriots aren't exactly loaded at safety. They got Jalen Hawkins and Craig Woodson now projected as the starters. And that just says good things about Jalen Hawkins and Craig Woodson, because we do trust the acumen of Mike Vrable. We trust the Patriots' acumen in the front office, in the general management, all the coaching staff. We trust what they can do and what they see on the field. And from what they see on the field, they feel as if they can operate still at high success with Jabrill Peppers not in the lineup, which I find to be very interesting. So why would you do it? Phil Perry explains as the answers start to come out. I thought that he had some interesting quotes. He said, for some of the same reasons Kyle Duggar, still on the team, is not viewed as a great fit for the New England Patriots defense, Peppers was not viewed as a perfect match for this scheme. We're going to talk a little bit more about the scheme of Mike Vrable here in just a moment. But safeties in the scheme going to have to play a lot of man coverage. We saw that his coverage grade was good, but also that incorporates some zone as well. They'll be asked to play a lot of deep part of the field from the previous scheme under head coach Drake Maye, DC. DeMarcus Covenant valued the physicality like guys in Peppers and Duggar brought as an in-the-box type who could reroute receivers and stop the run. And that was something that Jabrill Peppers and Kyle Duggar, they do at a very high level, is getting in there and disrupting the run, bumping tight ends off the line. They're really good sideline to sideline. They feel like they can almost be implemented as a Mike guy or an outside linebacker when we're running a 4-3, 3-4 disguise, kind of the way things are played. We're going to even talk a little bit more about the scheme and how things are with Mike Vrable and what we think he's going to be leaning to. We won't know until we see us against the Raiders for the first time to really see the vision that Mike Vrable has for this roster. But as we go on, Mike Vrable, this is him talking back in May about some way that he thinks the scheme is going to be and what he wanted from the scheme. We're running a 3-4 structure-based defense. However, he notes that the distinction doesn't really matter in today's NFL. It means base only played 20% of the time, obviously the 3-4. Most of the game played substitute defenses anyways. Teams are often using nickel or dime defenses, take the linebackers off the field in exchange for an extra defensive back. So, still knowing the Patriots run a base 3-4 2024 provides a little bit of insight on how the defense will run. And seeing this too makes this all the more surprising because you have a guy in Jabrill Peppers who can give you that extra defensive back, play decent coverage, but still also give you the physicality of what you would be missing in some of these linebackers. That's why him and Kyle Duggar on this roster I felt would actually make sense for this team, but apparently Mike Vrable and the Brain Trust in New England did not love the fit, and hey, that is what they decide, and I'm going to ride with what they decide because they've forgotten more football than I personally know, even though I do watch all Patriots game, a lot of the NFL, and have my own thoughts on it. But Vrable even said he does love Peppers' energy earlier in training camp, likes his passion for the game, energy's been coming to the building. All of those are positive, so you wouldn't feel like this. I don't feel like this has to do with anything other than the fact that Mike Vrable sees Jabrill Peppers is not a long-term or even apparently a short-term part of the system for the New England Patriots. But his intangibles felt like a fit for Vrabel's program on the field, not as snug. Perry wrote. A lot of this is coming from Phil Perry here, and that even Peppers wasn't a perfect fit for the Patriots defense. Perry questioned the team's decision to move the starting caliber safety from the roster. That's not exactly flush with starting caliber talent. This doesn't feel like a move that needed to happen right now. This feels like a move that could have happened after the first couple weeks of the season. You see how it goes. You give your guys snaps. Maybe you split the snap count. So if you have 75 defensive plays, you go 37 one, 38 to the other, and you roll from there. Maybe you just didn't want to do that and you really want to dip into this youth that we do have at the safety, and possibly that's the case. Or they really wanted to make spot for Eric Gregory, and it just happened to be that Jabrill Peppers was the guy that they were willing to let go for this. I feel like there were other routes they could have gone if that was the case, but they did fill it in with Eric Gregory. Eric Gregory is a rookie this year from Arkansas. He was a 6-year player at Arkansas. Never really totaled too many sacks. He's around 6'4". I've seen anywhere he was in college at 295. At the draft time, it looked like he was around 319. Right now, it looks like he's sitting at 300. So he probably gained a little bit of weight and then cut that weight and got a little bit stronger here. Has one interception, not that matters him at DT. But the tackle for losses, he has about 4 or 5 per season in the SEC playing at Arkansas. So I think that's a very interesting note for Eric Gregory. Eric Gregory is slotted to be our DT number 2 right now already on the roster, and with Jaquelin Roy being on IR, I believe that they thought to themselves, we need to get another tackle in here. We need to get another player. And possibly Jabrill Peppers is like, oh, we can deal with the fact that we have to let somebody go. We have to let one of these guys who are pretty good go, and they feel like they can still get something for Kyle Duggar. So let Jabrill go. We have what we need. He's only here for one more year. We only had the $4.32 million we had to dish out to him, and we'll kind of go on from there. But if you guys didn't know anything about Eric Gregory coming in, this is a little bit of his strength here. This is from the combine. Low girth, lower half, pad levels puts him in leverage position, the point of attack. He's 6'4", but he's able to get low. Has a little bit of dexterity, though, in the legs. Has enough to anchor the fight up against double teams. Leg drive allows him to collapse the gap and disrupt blocking schemes. Twitchy upper body power helps sudden block shed and can dismantle a blocker punch with one heavy chop. Gregory is going to grade out more as a guy who is going to be a run stopper. He is not going to be a guy who really can get after the passer because of that twitchiness, because of that twitchiness. He can shed off blocks to get left, to get right, to get into the A gaps, to get into that. He can be a 1 tech, could be a 3 tech, but really doesn't have the elite quickness to get by left guards, right guards, and even centers, depending on where he lines up, to get to the quarterback at an elite level. Like you see someone like a Chris Jones or obviously Aaron Donald, who was great, who was a little bit undersized, obviously, as a defensive tackle can. But it's going to be really interesting to see what the Patriots have moving forward, the moves that they make, and really, Craig Woodland, like these safeties that we have right now on roster, they see something in them that can be a long-term success for the Patriots, and that's what I'm really excited to see. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this move. Do you think it was too premature to get rid of Jabrill Peppers, or do you guys feel as if it's going to be okay and the Patriots have enough talent right now on the roster to deal with this little bit of loss that we have in Jabrill Peppers? But that is going to do it here for Patriots Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and if you got to this point, guys, hit that free subscribe button. We're really trying to grow this thing here, and we are super excited for the regular season. We hope we can have you guys here to enjoy us with it every single day. We'll be back again very soon.